One of the feasts that I remember the most from growing up in Durban is Eid. Our neighbors would send over a pot of steaming Breyani, and the memories have stayed with me ever since. Today, I'm going to show you how to make my very own special Breyani. It's one of my best, and it's called Parda Breyani. Parda meaning a veil or a curtain. And now for the Breyani, we're going to start out by par-cooking the lamb. First ingredient going in, sunflower oil. We're just going to heat this through, swirl it around a bit. Cinnamon stick and bay leaf going in. Some cardamom pods. And we're just going to saute this until it's light and fragrant. Now in goes the onions. And we're going to saute these until they're a light golden brown. To help it along a bit, I'm going to add some salt. Coarse salt always. And we're going to cook this down until it's light golden brown. While these onions are browning, I'm going to start out with some ginger and garlic. Fresh ginger always works best, and as you can see, I've sliced them into really thin pieces. Always slice, peel ginger, and slice across to thin coins so you break down the fibers in the ginger and you don't get long stringy bits in. So I'm going to pop these into a mortar. Garlic. Just see these garlic make it much easier to have them. I like using lots of ginger and garlic in my Breyani. I love flavour of garlic, but ginger also tenderizes the meat. So quite generally you add garlic. Now for the angry bit, ginger with water. I really do this to make your own ginger garlic fresh, smell amazing. I'm going to be feasting by this. So now goes that garlic. It doesn't really feast, just rough and rough would be slick. And now about a tablespoon of chilli. Just really add some chilli. Always add the frying pan and stir it around quickly so you don't burn the chilli. Then the lamb knuckles. So stir the lamb knuckles through and coat them with the spices. Cumin, coriander, and garam masala, also turmeric. Now the stir. Meat's nice down. In goes tomatoes. And tomatoes will add a bit of moisture to your lamb. Now the water. Sim until it and let's sim. Now the fat part, other part of the Breyani. Here, 400 grams of kefla, 100 grams of this to the liquid. Just pop this onto a low speed and work the butter into the flour. The mixture now resembles breadcrumbs, and I'm going to use a dough hook. Now, cold water going in. Just about a teaspoon of sugar to give the Parda Breyani a lovely brown crust. Now the dough's come together nicely and formed a really soft ball. Slightly sticky. We're just going to work this through. And pressing this down. Just remember, cooking is a lot of fun, and this is not supposed to look picture perfect. It's very rustic, and it does look homemade. Just generously flour your work surface. It's a very soft dough, and work it into a round. Next, with a rolling pin. Rolling dough in a sari can actually be quite tricky, so I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way, just like my mom and gran. And I'm going to tuck my sari in right over here and give this dough a fair go. The dough is ready, and now we're going to layer the Breyani. Just going to pour some cream into the cooked lamb and just swirl that around. Next in go the potatoes. These are already fried. Just going to drop those over. And then some par-cooked lentils. I sometimes cheat and use tin lentils. Now I'm going to reserve some for the top. Now the rice goes in. I always say the best tools are your fingers. And this is cold rice. I've cooked it and let it cool down, refrigerated it slightly, and it really is the trick of getting your rice grains light and fluffy. Also using basmati rice for this. And for the saffron, this is going to give the biryani a fantastic aroma, and even your neighbors are going to know you're cooking something really special. The cheats way of doing saffron in the microwave. Just about 30 seconds, and it smells amazing. Just crush these lightly, and now boiling water. And almost instantly, there's a color explosion. Gonna leave that to stand for about 5 minutes and pour it over. The saffron infusion going in. And next, olive oil. And I'm using extra virgin. Most people use butter, but this is a heavy lamb biryani. It's already rich, and it also has cream in it, so I'm just gonna add a bit of olive oil, just to prevent those rice grains from sticking. Brown onion, I always make these in advance. And now just to bling up that color of the saffron, I'm going to add a few drops of egg yellow food coloring. This is blinging up the biryani. Curry leaves going in. And these are going to smell amazing. Now for the biryani's parda. You're going to have to take courage on this one. Here's a paste made out of flour and water, cold water. Just going to smear a bit of this over and around the edges of the dough. There's no point using a pastry brush, it's just way too thick. And we're creating a bit of glue that will seal in all the steam. I'm baking this biryani off in a gourmet pot. And we're just going to pop this over and seal the edges as you go around. Just pinch the edges and make sure they're sealed properly against the lip of the pan. Brush the pastry with some beaten egg. And this is going to give it a lovely brown color. Also, when you make this, just remember, make sure your pot does not have plastic handles or anything that can melt in the oven. So the oven's preheated at about 200 degrees, and we're ready. Into the oven the biryani goes at 200 degrees Celsius. The perfect dessert in my mind is a date crumble, and for that I'm going to start out by making some date jam. So the first thing, 2 cups of cold water and 2 cups of sugar going into a pan. Next, a cinnamon stick. Now, we're just going to dissolve this sugar before we bring it up to the boil. It's important to dissolve the sugar properly before bringing this up to the boil, because if it doesn't, you're going to find large sugar crystals in your jam, and that's going to ruin the texture of the jam. Now add 2 cups of dates. These are chopped. And boil this for about 10 minutes until they're soft and mushy. Now for the dough for the date crumble, I've got 250 grams of butter in the kenwood, and we're going to start out by creaming this. 45 mils of sugar. And this is great because I don't really have to scrape the bowl if I'm using this attachment. Next, 45 mils of sunflower oil going in. Dollop of vanilla paste. Add in 1 egg at a time with just a teaspoon of flour. This just prevents the egg from curdling the mixture. The other egg goes in. That looks just about ready. Next, we're going to use the dough hook. Add in the flour. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Level teaspoons, of course. Now whisk this on a really low speed. The dough's coming together quite nicely, so you can turn up the speed. And you're looking for a consistency where the dough comes together in a really soft ball. It's really important not to overwork the dough, and I think this is just about done. Lift the dough out of the bowl. We're just going to bring it together very, very gently. Now we need half the dough for the base and half the dough for the crumble. So the easiest way to do this is to actually weigh it. Weighs about 850 grams, so about 425 each would do nicely. Aha, that's 428. Sometimes guesstimating is the best way. So you're going to use a pie tin and just press the dough into the pie tin. Just keep pressing it down until the dough's really smooth and free of any cracks. Now for the date jam, let's have a quick look. That is really thick and glossy. Lemon juice, 3 tablespoons going in. Lastly, stir in a handful of pistachios, just to add a bit of a crunch. You can leave the dough in the refrigerator to cool while the jam is also cooling down. This jam looks amazing. Now to check if it's done, pop some onto a plate, use the back of a spoon and actually draw a line through, and the line should still be visible after a while, and that's how you know the jam is set. So once the jam's cooled, we're going to spoon this over the base that we've prepared. Quite generously as well. There's nothing like a tart that has a lovely thick filling. Thoroughly ensure you use a generous coating of spray and cook to make sure you can get the crumble out of the pie dish. That looks about ready. Now, I'm going to grate this dough. So if you have a little more time, refrigerate it or freeze the dough just so it's really easy to grate. So spread the crumble around, make sure all the date jam is covered. There we have it. Bake it off, 180 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm just going to dust this with some icing sugar. It's important to remove this date crumble from the tin while it's still hot and to dredge it in icing sugar while the tart is still warm. That looks amazing. Quick peek at that Breyani now. Wow, that looks amazing. Phew, it feels like it was quite a task, but I'm sure it's going to be worth it. Now let's break open this crust. Oh, and it's really hot, so watch your fingers. And you're just going to peel that back. There we have it, the Parda Breyani. I always say the best part is the tasting, and this is one of my favorites. So here it is, the Parda Breyani, as promised. Garnish with some coriander, just a few sprigs. And there you go.
AMC Cookware is giving away this set of pots valued at 4,750 Rand. Entry details on screen. Kenwood is giving away this fabulous K-Mix kitchen machine. Entry details on screen. Coca-Cola is giving away a fantastic hamper, which includes a collection of beautiful Coke branded items for your kitchen. Entry details on screen.